Hey, welcome to this week's show. This week on Accept the Challenge, Brad and I made a 2-hour drive over from Columbus. We're at Obsession Bows, and I'm anxious to get in here and see how these bows are made. Brad, we had a great year last year shooting a hemorrhage. This year, fixation.
Yeah, man, I'm really curious to see how they make those, so let's go here and check it out. Well, guys, we're here with Dennis Lewis from Obsession Bows. Dennis, we really appreciate you letting us come out, and what we want to do real quick is let Dennis take us through the process of making the Obsession Bows.
Well, we're going to start with just kind of showing you where the bow's actually born outside of the engineering process, the drawings, our design part. But once the drawings and design's done and we've settled in on what that bow is going to look like, then the process starts of machining. So here at Obsession, we do all of our own machining.
Right.
We're on our own CNC machines. So we do all the processes here. Each machine at Obsession's got a process. What we're doing over here is drilling limb bolt holes, stabilizer holes, doing all of the, what we call the third op positions for our bows. And they're all done on a CNC for a precise position for any of these holes that get drilled in these bows. We're gonna walk over to the next machine, and what I'm gonna do is show you over here one being machined. It's what we call the op 1 on the bow. So let's go see what we got going on at the next machine. And what we got going on over here is we're cutting some hashtags. And this is what we call our intermediate bow. Colin's got this machine running, and he's able to cut basically 5 of them at one time on a first operation. And that there's our tumbling process. Once it leaves tumbling, it moves over to color fusion, and we're about to step over into that area. And we can't show you everything there because it is a patented process. But it's a unique process, it's really cool, and it is the best in the industry, color fusion. Now the next process that happens once it leaves over in the machine shop, of course these are limbs that go on all of our bows, which start with the powder coat system before we do our color fusion. So our risers have a couple coats of powder coat on them, which are heat treated, and then once they're heat treated and we go through the double process there, and the same way with the risers, then they go over to our color fusion process where it's a heat treated ink process that transfers onto the riser. Keep in mind, this is not a dipping process, it's not water transfer, it's the best coloring in the industry. It is called color fusion, and like I said, it's a patented process. We can't show you everything about it, but the finish on our bows I think are unbelievable, and these ladies take a lot of pride in making sure that each and every limb and riser is to perfection before it leaves this department to go over to bow building for the final process. Okay guys, what we got here, this is the color fusion that's already put on these bows and this limb, and as you can see, the detail is unbelievable. It's a good looking process, it's a durable process, and like I said, the best in the industry. It's not going to wear off, it's not going to scratch off, it's not going to chip off. And these, when I say perfection, and it's got very good detail to it, unlike some of the other processes in the industry, the color fusion, you won't see the images stretch. It holds their initial looks to it, so when these are printed and done, you don't see it on a bow where it's stretched, where it goes around curves and all. You'll be able to see the detail of the leaves in here and the detail of the bark. It's an unbelievable process, and I know I said it over and over, but we keep winning awards by the detail of our camo process. These bows not only shoot great, perform great, but they look great and have a great detail on the camo. As we call the birth of the bow in the machine shop, and gets to color fusion, and then the final stages of our bow building gets over here. This is what we call the prepping department, and what Sammy is doing here, she's putting limb pockets on this bow. She'll go through and QC the bow, look at, make sure the finish is good, any of the machining, she checks for all of that, along with putting your string suppressor on, limb pockets, your badges on the bow. There's many parts she'll add to the bow before it ever gets to the bow builder. All right, folks, the final process of Obsession is putting the strings and cables on, cams put on, the limbs put on the bow, and then it goes over and it gets QC'd timed, tuned, and we do a step further. We do what we call a bullet hole process, and that is to make sure each and every bow before it gets to the dealer is perfectly tuned with a fall away rest. So these guys back here, we got Cody building right here, and then of course I have Kelby doing a final process on one. It'll go on to a draw board before it leaves the factory. So we'll check it, make sure it's dead on draw length, dead on timing, and we make sure the poundage is dead on before it leaves the factory. And then it goes into what we call the last process, will be the shooting of the bow, and then once it's shot and bullet holed, and we call these guys the bullet hole bandits. They take pride in making sure that they're tuned, timed, and ready to go to the customer. Now this is what we call the secret room. These guys bring these bows in here. They test them for a few things. They test them to check speeds. They also, as you can see, they truly do bullet hole them. They'll put this up here, and they will also check it. And before it goes up front, they have a QC form they fill out. And this QC form has color fusion, anodized, limb coating, screws, correct poundage, time tune, bullet hole, a list of multiple things that they're going to check out on these bows before they're boxed and shipped to the customer. So these bows are QC'd in every department, and then they have what they call a final inspection before it leaves to the customer.
Dennis, thank you so much for having us up, buddy. It's been a real eye-opener for me. You guys really make a custom bow, and it's not mass-produced, but that's what impressed me, is it's each one of these is touched by 5 or 6 hands. I mean, it's just like a custom bow.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we say on our slogan, change or get left behind.
Exactly.
And we take pride in building our bows. We've won 2 out of the past 3 Outdoor Life best bows. That's pretty good. It's from impressive. A small bow company that's growing really fast. So we made, one of the things we went after, and I'd like to close with this note, we went after smooth, speed, and dead in the hand, all in one bow. That's what we take pride in, at making that obsession. A lot of people there's some bows out there that's fast, there's some bows out there that's slow. And what we wanted to offer to the consumer is a one-stop package where you can get the smooth, speed, dead in the hand, all in one from Obsession.
Well, you definitely accomplished that. Thank you again so much. And Scott and I are getting our bows set up. We're really excited about using them this upcoming deer season. Appreciate it, buddy.